Warning, the following video is so manly that it can make a woman grow a beard. So if you are a little Justin Bieber, proceed with caution.
I'm bringing you my top 10 best first-person shooters of all time, and this is just about the multiplayer. It's about playing either online or playing on a split-screen multiplayer versus your friends. So as I said, it's not about the campaign. Now, there's only 10 spots on this list, people, so I could only choose 10 games, and there are way more than 10 good FPS games out there. So for that reason, I decided to give these games a shout out. Some of them don't even have multiplayer nor split screen, don't have online or a split screen, but I still decided to give them a shout out because they are great. And that's pretty much it, gentlemen. So let's take a look at the top 10 right now. In number 10, we have GoldenEye 007, which came out in 1997 for the Nintendo 64. And this game was the first FPS made for consoles. Before GoldenEye 007, consoles were just a wasteland. They were pretty much a wasteland in terms of FPS games because they only existed for the PC. So GoldenEye 007 changed that perspective, that mentality that FPS games could only be made for the PC, and it pretty much initiated a revolution because nowadays you have way more people playing FPS games on consoles than on PC. In number 9, we have Time Splitters 2, which came out in 2002 for the PS2 and other platforms, but I mainly just played it for the PlayStation 2. This game is super fast-paced, it's super fun to play. You have all types of crazy characters, all types of weapons, from akimbo magnums to huge miniguns. And the thing I like the most about this game was, even though it didn't have online gaming, it had the biblical split-screen multiplayer, which allowed you to play against 3 friends and at the same time against a shit ton of bots. So you could have 10, 15 enemies at the same time, playing against you at the same time, which was biblical. In number 8, we have Medal of Honor Light Assault, which came out in 2002 for the PC. And this game was the first shooter that I played online. And one thing I remember very well about this game, back in 2002, 12 years ago, was that, for example, in the free-for-all match, the guy in first place would have like 40 kills, 50 kills, something like that, and also a shit ton of deaths, like 30, 20 deaths. And that happened because back in the day there were no tools for camping. It was only you, your weapon, and your grenades. So there was no camping pretty much. Everyone wanted to run around like diabolic nightmares, and it wasn't like today it wasn't like today in certain games where you have a fucking LMG with a target finder while spamming noob tubes and refilling them with the scavenger perk, and while you're protected by 2 shock dildos and 2 claymores. I mean, back in the day there was nothing like this. And it was fucking biblical. In number 7, we have Halo 3, which came out in 2007 for the Xbox 360. And Halo was pretty big before Call of Duty. Halo was a great gaming series, but unfortunately it seems that Call of Duty kind of killed it. It's still playable, it's still played today, it still has a huge fan base, but pretty much Call of Duty killed Halo, and I think that Halo 3 is the best Halo. In number 6, we have Counter-Strike, which came out in 1999 for the PC, and this game is a classic ahead of its time. I mean, this game is biblical, and it is still played competitively, which shows you how great this game is and how much FPS gamers love this game. In number 5, we have Battlefield Bad Company. A lot of people will probably not agree with my opinion right here, but I really think that this Battlefield is the most fun Battlefield ever. It came out in 2008 for the PlayStation 3. It was my first FPS game on the PlayStation 3, and I believe it marked, in my opinion, it marked the transition between like the old school Battlefields and the new school and the new Battlefields, like because the graphics got much better when this Battlefield came out, and when you look at this Battlefield today, it still has great graphics, even though it came out in 2008. And I believe this game has the right amount of everything. For example, Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 have a lot of gadgets, a lot of unnecessary stuff that is only there to annoy people who are trying to play the game and have fun, this and that. This game has the exact amount of everything. If you say that Bad Company isn't the best Battlefield, if you say that Battlefield 9042 is, if you say that Battlefield 2 is the best, I will accept that, but I won't accept if you say that Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 3 are the best, because any other Battlefield is better than those. In number 4, we have Doom, which is a fucking classic. This game is biblical. It came out in 1993, so this game is older than a lot of people watching this video. And this game was the first-person shooter with online gaming. So it's unbelievable, and it's a biblical game. I remember playing this game not online but on PC when I was younger. And I was actually kind of scared because it had monsters, this and that. So I never really played this game that much. But man, this game is fucking biblical. In number 3, we have Unreal Tournament 2004. And this came out in 2004, obviously, just like the name says, for the PC. Now, this game is biblical. If you ask anyone to name 5 of the best FPS games out there, they will always say Unreal Tournament. They might not say the Unreal Tournament 2004, but they will always say Unreal Tournament. Well, unless you were born in 2000 and whatever. Anyways, this game is biblical. It's super fast-paced, and it's just, as I said, it's one of the best FPS games out there. In number 2, we have Quake 3 Arena, which came out in 2000 for the Dreamcast and also PC, I think. But I just played it on the Dreamcast, and it was biblical to play this game on the Dreamcast because the Dreamcast was the first console to have online gaming, which is absolutely biblical. And you could not just play, you could not only play against Dreamcast players, but you could also play against people on PC. So this console was it had a multi-platform online. You could play against people on Dreamcast and against people on the PC, which was crazy. And it was very you could see very easily when you were playing against PC players. I don't really know if the game would told you that you were playing against PC players, but it was very easy because, I mean, it was so hard to play against them. You could never kill these motherfuckers. It was very, very difficult. So me and my friends pretty much just played on split screen because we would get raped against these guys on PC. And finally, gentlemen, the best FPS game of all time is definitely Black Ops 2. No, I'm just fucking kidding. The best game of all time, FPS game of all time, is Call of Duty Ghosts. And the reason why I got you, motherfucker. You really thought... No, the best FPS game of all time, gentlemen, is Call of Duty 4. I'm pretty sure that most of you are still waiting for me to say that I'm kidding, but this time I'm not kidding. I'm being serious right here. Call of Duty 4 is the best in my opinion, and I've been playing games since 1998. I just enjoy Call of Duty 4 very much. It came out in 2007, which was a year where a lot of people say that it had the best games. 2007. I had it for the PlayStation 3, but it was also available for Xbox 360 and PC. And in my opinion, it took FPS games to a whole new level. Games like Doom, Quake, and Unreal Tournament kind of were classics, this and that. But Call of Duty 4 took the FPS games to a whole new level, a higher level. And it took FPS games to a whole new level, but at the same time it took it made Call of Duty shitty ass Call of Duties like Black Ops 2 and whatever. But I mean, this game was biblical. You could create a class, which pretty much you couldn't do in any other FPS games. Usually, just you have the weapons that the game gives you. Then you gotta run around and get more weapons, this and that. And you could use perks, you can use perks, you have kill streaks, which makes the game more fun. And this game has great graphics. These graphics are biblical. In 10 years you will still look at this game and say, oh my god, this game still has biblical fucking graphics. So I just love this game, and plus it has the best game mode of all time, which is what you guys are watching right now. What's it called? Old school free for all, which kind of reminds me of Quake. You gotta get the weapons, you gotta get your equipment, this and that. You have little jumps. You can jump higher, you move faster, this and that. So it reminds me of Quake, and that's another reason why I love Call of Duty 4, because Quake 3 Arena is, in my opinion, the second best FPS game of all time. But as I said, guys, this is just my opinion. If you have a different opinion, do not forget to share it in the comment section below. I will see you next time. Peace.